Hi, I'm Beth Sidhu, Stagwell's Chief Brand and Communications Officer, and I am here at our booth on the show floor at CES with Timo Pelz from Reddit. Timo,
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So first of all, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do at Reddit.
Sure. So my role at Reddit is leading business marketing. So in a nutshell, that means I connect our many communities to businesses of all sizes across the globe and help them figure out how to make them use them for their business. My background is I grew up in the agency world in Europe. I'm German. And was very fortunate to join Facebook early on and had a hand in developing their business in Europe. And then I moved over to the US and joined Instagram early on, helped set up their business marketing team. And then more than a year ago, I made the move over to Reddit, and it's been great.
Amazing. So Reddit unveiled a new study at CES this year looking at all sorts of interesting things about your community. Tell us about the study.
So the first thing to mention is that Reddit itself is a community of more than 100,000 communities.
100,000 communities.
Yes. People come to Reddit to be informed, to seek advice, to be entertained, to share opinions. And that means that Redditors tend to be early adopters. There are a lot of things that we accept to be in the mainstream today that were talked about on Reddit long ago. A really good example here is Bitcoin. Something that we are, everyone's talking about it today. We could argue that it entered the mainstream maybe last year, earlier.
Yeah.
Last year is a really good time frame. And the first time it was actually mentioned on Reddit was in 2010. So shortly after the first ever transaction had been made with Bitcoin. And just to put that in perspective, that is the same year that the first iPad was launched. So
You're making us both seem very old right now, but okay, carry on.
So that's how early people on Reddit were up to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, right? And so we took that as a good reason to dig a little deeper and look at, when we come to Las Vegas at this time of year, everyone's kind of looking ahead and trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future. We analyzed millions of conversations that were happening on Reddit to see what are people talking about, and then use that to talk to about 2,000 people that are active Reddit users, but also users of platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, to learn a little bit more about their behavior and what they think is going to be the next big thing.
Okay, so we have to ask, what is going to be the next big thing? What did your users tell you?
So there are a couple of different things that they told us, depending on how far ahead into the future you want to look.
Okay.
So they think that by 2025, that's very soon, 2 years from now, we will have DNA-informed skincare. So you will have skincare that is tailored to your individual needs based on your DNA. They also think that we will have meetings and we will socialize in the metaverse. So there actually is something around the metaverse. So the Redditors believe it's going to happen.
I thought we were going to be done with the metaverse, and I wasn't sad about that, candidly.
And so by 2029, they think that we will have DNA-informed vitamins. So gone will be the days where you go to the vitamin shop and you buy the same.
So no more multivitamin.
Well, it's going to be a multivitamin, but it's tailored to your individual needs. Not, you and I won't be buying the same as we might be today. So that's a big one. They also think that insect protein will become mainstream as a sustainable alternative to current protein sources. Insect protein.
Okay.
Yeah, and then by
delicious.
They're going to have to find a way to make it yummy. By 2035, they think we will have lab-grown organs. So you will no longer have to wait for a donor if you're in need of an organ that matches your criteria. We can just grow one in the lab for you.
Presumably the organ will have its own multivitamin tailored to it.
These are really game-changing things that if they actually end up happening, they make a big difference. They think we will have AI coworkers by 2035.
I already feel like I have AI coworkers. If I have another person say, "Oh, I just did your assignment on ChatGPT," but anyway, tell us, as we look around and there's about 100,000 people here, I don't know how many devices, what sorts of technology do you think are going to be transformational for your business, Reddit's business in the year to come?
So we're looking at AI. We're in the business of helping businesses grow. We do this through helping them connect to audiences and members of the Reddit community. And we see a lot of content creation that is being scaled with the help of artificial intelligence. Right? You just mentioned ChatGPT. There's also a lot of interesting developments that are happening around video creation. And so if you're a marketer today, the need for more and more creatives, more and more content is just exploding.
Yeah.
And so there's a limit to what your partners and what humans can create, right? And so to be able to create content and creative and assets for your campaigns and for you to reach your audiences at scale, that's going to be a game changer. Yeah.
One of my favorite things that I think we could talk about more, may not be of interest to everyone, but remember when AI was just called programmatic?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Now that it's AI, it's much more techy and
forward-looking. It sounds much more interesting too,
doesn't it? So I know you're super busy here. I know you have a huge activation and teams on the ground, but tell me something you saw on the show floor or as you walked around that has been interesting to you.
So there's this Korean company, they're called AR Beyond.
AR Beyond.
AR Beyond, and they have developed an AR overlay that works like Google Shopping, but in the real world. So imagine you take out your phone, and if I were to say, I like your shoes, I can scan your shoes, it'll recognize the shoe, and it has a high probability of giving me the opportunity to find a place to buy it. So it's, it's like Google image search meets shopping, but in the real world.
So I don't just have to surreptitiously search,
Well, you should probably ask people before you take a picture of their shoes, but it was pretty mind-blowing that it was able to identify a Nike sneaker, right size, and within the same app, tell me where to buy it.
Changer.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, Timo, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us at home. Have a great CES.